Right, so I want you to imagine a story as if it were a house. And the foundation of that house is genre, the form or the plot, the general, not as in the direction or the beats of the plot, but rather the plot itself, a summary of the plot, if you will. That's the foundation this house is built on. Now, right here, I've got an outline, sort of a bird's eye view outline of what that house looks like inside. It's a bungalow. It's a one-story, one-room house. It's kind of unrealistic, but just stick with me. And within that building is the narrative itself, the actual beats, and the world building, and the characters, and the direction that that narrative goes is that line, this line here, from start to end. That's where we enter the house, that's where we leave, that's where we start the story, that's where we leave the story. And this, all the way through, is the exact direction that we take the audience through, and we take ourselves through the house, through the story. And of course, this here is just sort of like a point in time in which the audience is moving through our story, and yeah, that's the audience. Now, the circle and all these different shapes is every little character quirk, or their quirks, or the quirk of your story, of your writing. It's the prose you use, it's the world building, the facts about the world, characteristics of the world, characteristics of the characters, as I've said before. It can be the actual beats themselves, the narrative arcs, everything that constitutes to a story that's on a much deeper level than the foundation that we've built on is contained within these shapes, or is one of these shapes themselves. Now, the circle is everything the audience learns and can see. It's their breadth of knowledge that does expand over time, but it never reaches the full breadth or the full width of the house. They never see everything. They're never going to probably see that shape there, or the circle there, but they might hear about them because they're so far away, or they might see like a shadow in the corner of them, or like a silhouette of them in the corner, but they'll never see them. But they will see this triangle, they'll pass through it, and they'll be able to see that rectangle, and they'll be able to see that square at the end. But some of the things within this room they'll never see. Now, what do I mean by see? So, before anyone enters this house, we need to get these shapes in, right? We need to place them in a format that we want, the order of which we want those things to appear in, but also the distance the audience has to them. I talked about in my last video about psychic distance. It's not the same thing, but it's still a distance of experience. It's a relative distance of how the audience will be connected to it and how they'll feel connected to it. To get a little technical there, I guess. But we've got the lights on, we've got the house lights on, we can see everything within this building right now as we're in it, because we need to know about it. We need to know not every single facet about like every single historical point of every tree, for example, but we need to learn a lot about this world, and we need to know more about this world than the audience does. That's important. However, we need to be able to show them that we know, not in an egotistical way. I don't mean it like that, but we need to show them that there is much more to this world without explaining that or over-explaining that, being verbose, being over-expository. We need to show them that this world is much greater than they're going to know, and that will give them that deeper sense of awe. That will give them that sense of expansiveness that we want for our world. And the world can be like, it could be even as small as just a room. It can be as big as this, essentially. Or it could be a great fantastical world. The trick is to balance it. Show them the face of a shape, show them a triangle, show them a little piece of the world, or maybe half of a square, a little corner of a triangle. Show them pieces or fully developed things, like arcs, or history and lore of the world, perhaps. Show them fully developed things, but never go the whole way, and then you'll lose that mystery. They'll stop asking questions because they've got all the answers they need, and they can just move on with their life. You know, that you want them to think, you want them to be able to come back, you want them a reason to come back, and that reason lies within the shadows that they could never reach, that they can only get hints of, that they can only see, you know, far off glimpses of, or it looks like it's a different shape maybe, and then you get close to it and it's a completely different thing that they couldn't even have thought of. You want to be able to balance that, and this is just a way that at least I think of, you know, when I'm writing, of how I can just balance and juggle that. And yeah, that's about all. Thank you for watching.